Hey, this is Danny from Weird and Wired, and this is a Columbus 335 style guitar. This was made in Japan in the 70s, and it is quite clearly a 335 style guitar. There's no bones about what this is trying to be. This was an affordable guitar at the time, obviously trying to be an American-made Gibson 335 on a budget. It uses cheaper manufacturing and cheaper components across the board, but I think for what it's trying to be, it's definitely doing its thing. I'm a big fan of these 70s Japanese import guitars. They're always quirky, always got a lot of character and personality, and they can vary quite a lot between how playable they are and how much work you need to put into them. And this one's a really great player straight off the bat. It needed a little bit of work to get it playing again, and I've given this a few modifications. I have been playing around quite a bit with the rubber bridge modification lately, and it's something that I'm having a lot of fun doing. And so far I've only done it with solid body electrics, so with this being a hollow body, I thought why not give it a try with this. This is probably the loudest hollow body electric guitar I have ever played. You really don't need to plug this into an amp to hear what you're doing. Unfortunately, the original pickups were toast, they were not working. While I had to replace the pickups anyway, I did have these pickups that came from a K E200 guitar, which is from the same 70s Japanese era, and these pickups work really good with the rubber bridge modification. They've got that gold foil sound, so it really helps accentuate the darker tones that you get from the rubber bridge. If you're unfamiliar with what a rubber bridge guitar is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You use rubber in place of the bridge saddles to give it a much more muted, darker quality, and this style of bridge saddle is not one that I had used before. The individual string saddles for this bridge piece were a little bit more sophisticated than I would tend to find on one of these Japanese 70s import guitars. You can really hone in and get precise with the individual string intonation, and you can also quite easily remove the saddles and put them back in. I've used the same rubber material that I have done previously because it works a treat for the sound that I am personally going for with these modifications. It is lino printing rubber, and it definitely gives it a very muted quality. I thought it would be a good opportunity to do a side-by-side comparison of what a difference the rubber bridge can make. Other than the pickups being replaced, the other electronics are still original. We have our three-way selector switch for the pickups, and we have a volume and tone for each pickup as well. We've got a Bigsby style trem which does a really good job of actually staying in tune when you do use it. Unfortunately, we are missing the original pick guard that would have come on this guitar. We've got a couple of mounting screw holes on the body, and I'm not really missing it, to be honest. I think this paint job it's pretty cool. I really dig it, and obviously without having the pick guard there, we can see the whole black and red burst this has. Cosmetically, there's a few dings around this guitar. There's a couple on the body, there's one on the headstock. So I think not having the pick guard on there, it kind of leans into this authentic road-worn look. So that's everything that goes into this Columbus 335 style guitar and the parts that I've modified, and here is a little side-by-side sound comparison with the original bridge as it was and with the rubber bridge modification. So there we go, a little A-B comparison to show the difference between a more conventional guitar bridge and a rubber bridge. And it's not a comparison to, you know, favour one over the other. It is just to show what difference a rubber bridge can make. And the thing that surprised me most hearing them back to back is the sustain and now lack of sustain with the rubber bridge. This guitar with the original bridge, the sustain just seems to kind of go on and on. It's great. It does a really good job of that. And the rubber bridge sound is known, as I say, for being a more muted, darker quality, so it's no surprise that it's losing sustain, but just how much sustain is lost, it was really surprising to me. It's perhaps not a sound that you would want to use for everything. It's maybe not appropriate or suitable for an everyday guitar for every genre. I think that the areas that this really shines in is certainly sort of bluesy stuff, folky stuff, anything kind of lo-fi, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be limited to those. It really is all up to your imagination. It's the same benefit that using a certain pedal can be, where it makes me think in a certain way, makes me play different ideas. So I think it can be a really useful tool for both using it in the studio, and it can also be a useful tool for songwriting and bringing out ideas that you may not get otherwise. On this particular guitar, I really like the cleaner sound with it. I think it certainly showcases the tonal difference with the rubber bridge, not just the fact that it mutes it, but it definitely gives it a bit more sort of body to the sound. It makes it sound a little bit more kind of like a jazzy archtop guitar, though I absolutely love how this sounds through the big muff as well, and to be honest, a lot of that is these pickups. I'm a big fan of these pickups. certainly running them through a big muff. The neck pickup in particular does a really good job of bringing out the warmth of the fuzz. This video is not really meant to be a comparison to say I prefer one style of bridge over the other, but I do have to say that when this does have the rubber bridge, this particular guitar, it just feels a little bit better to me. I can't really see any clear reason as to why, because the original bridge with the saddles, you can intonate it, is seemingly a more functional bridge, and there's just something about when it's got the rubber bridge on it, it just feels nicer to play. I just gel with it a bit more. I've been having a lot of fun with rubber bridges lately, and I just enjoy the process, I enjoy playing them, and I enjoy sharing what I'm finding out. This is the third video documenting my adventures with rubber bridge guitars. So if you've got any other ideas, anything else you'd like to see with rubber bridge guitars, you let me know and I'll see what I can do. And I'd love to know all your other thoughts and feelings as well regarding the Columbus 335 style guitars, if you've owned one, if you've played one, and rubber bridges, if it's something that you're into, if it's something that you've tried for yourself or want to try. What did you think of the original bridge, and what did you think of this rubber bridge? You let me know all your thoughts and feelings, and until the next time, keep it weird and keep it wired.